badge of rusted brass, a lawman torn from shattered past. In Deadwood's town where greed grew tall, he faced the devil's final call and carved his fate in shattered glass. No jury sat, no preacher came, just shadows dressed in smoke and flame. He saw the guilt, he saw their sin, and smiled like one who'd never win, but still refused to feel the shame. Hollow justice rides at night, with bone white horse and gun of light. No court can bind, no prayer can hold the wrath of one too bruised, too bold, who fights for truth without the right. He shot no man who feared the law, but devils dressed in human flaw. Each bullet sang a silent hymn for orphans lost and widows grim. His justice cold but never raw. Hollow justice rides at night, with bone white horse and gun of light. No court can bind, no prayer can hold the wrath of one too bruised, too bold, who fights for truth without the right. Now wind drifts through the gallows plain, a shadow rides through sleet and rain. His star still gleams in ghostly breath, a badge that speaks of life and death, and law that rises up through pain. Hollow justice rides at night, with bone white horse and gun of light. No court can bind, no prayer can hold the wrath of one too bruised, too bold, who fights for truth without the right.
sails through storm and steel, with eyes like coal and hands of steel. A whistle howled at Dead Man's Pass, where death once rode in smoking glass, and time bent back like broken wheel. A raven landed near the track. It watched him work, it watched his back. He said, "Old bird, why do you stay?" The raven blinked, then flew away, and left a feather scorched and black. The raven and the railman know that fate rides fast where spirits go. When steam and sorrow fill the sky, the past returns, the curse don't die. They're carried where the dark winds blow. He vanished near the mountain's curve, where engines scream and tremble nerve. Now whistles sound with voices grim. The raven rides where none see him, and coal burns cold without reserve. The raven and the railman know that fate rides fast where spirits go. When steam and sorrow fill the sky, the past returns, the curse don't die. They're carried where the dark winds blow. Each dusk a train with no command rolls down the ghost track through the land. If you hear wings or phantom moan, step off the line, don't walk alone. Or ride with those no God has black. The raven and the railman know that fate rides fast where spirits go. When steam and sorrow fill the sky, the past returns, the curse don't die. They're carried where the dark winds blow. In Tennessee, where silence bends, the bell which waits where shadow ends, hands were bound. He drank the poison without sound. His house now echoes screams and stone, each wall alive, each step alone, each mirror cracked by truth profound. So should you hear a cackle break, or feel the chill upon the lake, don't say her name, don't light a flame, just leave the ones from whence you came. She's waiting still for out today. The bell witch speaks in cursed wind, she binds her wrath to every sin. If you deny her ancient cries, she'll braid your soul with thousand lies and haunt your seat till blood runs thin. Beneath the canopy, old as time, the redwood trees in silence chime. They whisper tales in sacred mist, where spirits dance and shadows twist, a temple raised with roots sublime. The wind recalls the ancient names of elders burned in holy flames. Now vengeance sleeps in moss and stone, awaits the trespass cold and lone, to judge the heart and weigh its crimes. Spirits in the redwood stand, guardians of the bloodied land. If you walk with fear or greed, you feed the forest's cursed need and vanish by the unseen hand. Now all that's left's a boot and chain, consumed by bark, absorbed by pain. The redwoods hum, the sun is high, and those who pass don't question why. They walk in silence through the slain.
They came with chains and books of law to carve the land with teeth and saw. The Cherokee bled, the ravens flew, the hills cried out, the forest knew this reckoning would not be flawed. God not carved in bone, the widow tree bent low to speak, to warn intruders cold and meek. Blood calls to blood beneath the sod. Run to the hills, but they will rise with spirits fed by ancient cries. This land remembers every and buries fire beneath the flame. The hills don't run, they wait in Now towns go dark with whispered chants, and shadows crawl through fields and plants. The reckoning walks without a face, no priest, no cross, no blade can chase this force reborn by native fraud. So mark the wind when it turns black, and count the drums behind your Appalachia will reclaim each stolen soul, each stolen name. ghosts with doors thrown wide. The devil's boots tap metal floor. It calls the curse to dance once more, and shadows twirl though none arrive. He wears a mask of southern charm, but burns with cold beneath each arm. He sings in tones that steal your breath, and every step draws nearer death. The floorboards creak with those who died. Waltzing iron, dressed in coal, the devil's rhythm feeds the soul. And if you dance too long, too well, you'll never leave that shadowed shell. The beat's a curse none can survive. Queens and crows, with widows dressed in blood and rose. Each partner sworn, then turned to dust, for iron waltzes feed on trust, and no one's left who can revive. So should you hear a fiddle scream and see the chandeliers all gleam, do not step in, don't heed the sound, for death himself will spin you round. The devil smiles, you're still alive.
Returns through thunderstorm to warn the world in human form. on the world in human form, but none believe what they perceive. The stars align in crooked line. The buffalo returns in sign. And should you hear the sacred cry, you're part of what must live or die. Black elk fades, but still he grieves.